There's only one Greg McElroy, and he joins us now, college football analyst, former Alabama quarterback, knows the program well. McElroy, backstory for the viewer. You and I were riding in a golf cart at the national championship game. We were discussing Kalen DeBoer, and at the time we thought maybe he would take over Michigan because we had a good idea that Jim Harbaugh was heading back to the NFL. And you told me if Saban ever retired, I would love him in Tuscaloosa. Here we are. You got your wish. What do you expect out of Kalen DeBoer year one with Alabama?
Well, Matt, that was off-the-record conversation, so I'm glad to know that your journalistic integrity is in a great place. I'm looking at it in all seriousness. I don't think you can find a better person to take over, and it's partly because of just how Kalen DeBoer's wired. I mean, he's a guy that acknowledges the greatness that came before him, had to have the skins on the wall to get the gig, naturally. I mean, you have to be a guy that has accomplished an awful lot to be even considered to be the head coach at Alabama. So this guy has a method that is tried and true, but the method that is now being replaced has won 6 national championships in the last 17 years. So you had to pay homage to an extent to the previous regime. I think he's done so beautifully. He hasn't altered things too significantly for the players. He's kept it familiar,
sure,
and he's starting to implement some of his own philosophies as they approach the fall and as they approach fall camp.
And he's coming off a national championship. He knows there are playoff expectations, national championship expectations in Alabama. We've got a 12-team playoff now in college football. Texas and Georgia, the two teams people pointing to from the SEC to represent the league in the college football playoff. But McElroy, we get 8 more slots now. So who do you think has the best chance to join a Georgia and Texas duo in the new college football playoff?
Well, the obvious answer is Alabama right now. Just looking at what they return, I know that they have the production numbers and the few guys that are back, and they lost all their receivers and all that other stuff. I mean, I understand the narratives, but this is still a supremely talented team. One of the best rosters in the sport. They are thin, relatively speaking, so it'll be a team that has to stay healthy, and they're a little bit young on the back end defensively, at corner in particular. But they have really everything that you could possibly want. I mean, they have an experienced quarterback. They'll have a rock-solid offensive line. They have good leadership. And I think they have explosive and dynamic weapons on the outside with the defense in the front 7 that returns a lot of experience and production. But the team that no one's talking about just yet, Maddie, and I'm starting to get the warm fuzzies about.
Here we go.
LSU.
Ooh.
LSU. I think that there's some buzz right now and some momentum that's being created by the Tigers. You listen to Brian Kelly Monday, and he says it's the deepest roster I've had. Well, he's won 10 games in each of the last 2 years. I think they've overachieved in his first 2 years. And I was real concerned about the defense last year, naturally. And I'm still concerned about the front 4 defensively, but he didn't seem concerned about it. And I feel like he's been so honest, really, in the last few months about, hey, yeah, we got problems on defensive line. He didn't feel like they were still problems as they approach fall camp. So I think LSU's a team to keep an eye on when talking about the playoff race as well.
As is their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. I think he is going to be a college football star by the end of the season, like the great Greg McElroy. All right, McElroy, go continue spending that per diem in DFW. Hometown game for you. Good talking to you.
Give me something.